take you the spot. Great.
Bring out my best side.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah, it is all John Lewis.
Happy, everyone?
It's simple.
We're all partners.
And we all have a say.
And where the partnership goes next.
And how we get there.
For the very first time, we've come up with
One simple, concrete plan.
For the entire partnership.
A plan for how we move forward.
Our plan for success.
Smiling.
partners,
Customers.
and suppliers
Have had their say. Hundreds of hours have been spent collecting,
analysing,
And planning.
and the views, votes and ideas
of thousands of partners.
have been filtered down.
Into one simple, concrete plan.
With our purpose driving us.
And ethics and sustainability at our heart.
Our plan is to create retail customers love by getting closer to a more diverse range of customers, offering expert advice, brilliantly edited choices, and truly memorable experiences.
invest in inspirational new services that allow us to get closer to our customers and play a bigger role in their lives.
Seek out partnerships for growth, combining our unique strengths with the capabilities of others.
Be lean, simple and fast, creating more freedom for partners and more cash for growth.
Or put more simply,
Retail customers love.
Inspirational new services.
Partnerships for growth.
Lean, simple and fast.
And simpler still,
Retail love.
New services.
Partnerships.
Simple and fast.
The best plan
is a simple plan.
And we've got one.
A plan that's good for customers.
And for partners.
So, let's now put our plan into action.
Powered by us.
us,
us.
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 Partners. Oh, it's quite exciting actually.
Sweet.
Ah, maybe an applause as well.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chris Wynn. I'm Director of Corporate Communications at the John Lewis Partnership. Welcome today to the launch of our partnership plan, how we're going to grow and transform our two much-loved brands, John Lewis and Waitrose. Today you'll hear from members of our executive team. We have Sharon White, Nina Bhatia, Patrick Lewis, James Bailey, Pippa Wicks, Bérangère Michel, and Nikki Humphrey. The exec team are going to deliver a short presentation and then there'll be lots of time for Q&A. If you're using Zoom today, please put your hand up virtually to ask a question and we'll get to you. I'm now going to hand over to Sharon.
Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We're incredibly excited to be launching the partnership plan today. We've had months of getting views from customers, partners, suppliers, and it just feels like a very exciting moment to be able to at last engage with our customers, engage with analysts, really to start sort of sharing our plans for securing the future of the partnership, but also ensuring we have a brilliant, thriving, exciting business. Our goal that our two amazing brands, our well-loved brands, John Lewis and Waitrose, become the go-to places to shop if you're interested in quality, value and sustainability. And you'll see today, and my colleagues will, Nina and Patrick will talk more about this in the presentation, James and Pippa, Nikki, Bay. What you'll see today is that there's a plan in two phases. So the first 2 years are really focused on doubling down on the core retail business, taking cost out, so becoming even more streamlined, but also investing in customer service so that we've got even more delightful, inspirational products and services for our customers in both brands. And then we start to build the foundations for faster growth. And that starts us to move into areas outside retail, housing, financial services, outdoor living, areas where our customers have told us they think we could do a great job and really provide the trust and the love that the two brands already have in our core retail business. So we're very excited. We've got a path now to take us to sustainable profits in 5 years' time of £400 million, and a step on the way 2 years in at £200 million, which will allow us, remember, a business that's effectively a social enterprise, to invest back into our partners and our customers and our communities. So we couldn't be more excited to have the chance to share this with you this afternoon. I'm now going to hand on to Nina.
Great, thanks Sharon. Morning everyone, I should say afternoon everyone, nice to see you all. I want to say a little bit about the partnership and our commitment to being a force for good. We were set up to be a force for good and to make sufficient, not necessarily maximum profit. Effectively, we're a social enterprise, the largest co-owned business in the UK. And we're not changing that commitment today, we're reinforcing it by championing equality, sustainability and well-being. And there are a few important commitments that I want to draw your attention to today. Firstly, in the area of equality, we're pledging today to recruit more people from disadvantaged backgrounds, in particular people leaving the care system. We're also bringing forward our ambition to be net zero carbon by 15 years to 2035. And then we've got some specific commitments for Waitrose and John Lewis. Waitrose commits to source only from net zero carbon farms in the UK by 2035. And in addition to halving food waste in our own operations by 2030, we're also extending this to our supply chain. And of course, we're going to continue to help customers with their household waste, committing to help them halve that by 2030 also. In John Lewis, we're going to lead in the made to last movement, and every product category will have a buyback or a take back option by 2025. All of the raw materials in our own brand products will be sourced from sustainable or recycled sources, and we're also going to continue with our exploration and commitment to rental, resale and recycle. These aren't just good things to do, they are things that our customers ask us for. In fact, they trust John Lewis to do the hard work for them so that they can make the ethical and sustainable choices that they want to. I'm now going to hand over to Nikki.
Thank you, Nina. And good afternoon, everybody. So partners are at the heart of what we do, and as co-owners, they're really going to be the driving force to delivering this partnership plan. And as we see that further financial success, that gives us huge opportunity to reinvest back into the business, as well as also invest and share that success directly with our partners. And so when we hit profit levels of 200 million in a couple of years' time, we will enable us to pay all of our partners the real living wage. And not only that, with reaching the levels of profit above 150 million and reducing our debt ratio to below 4 times, we're also going to be back into a position of returning to pay our partners a bonus, which will be incredibly important to them. But for us to be at our best for our customers, we know we need to be a truly inclusive business. And we recognise that we've probably got more to do in that area. And so we are currently developing a really clear focus plan that's going to really have clear ambitions and targets to really go and make a difference, so that we can drive greater social mobility, we can really reach out to those disadvantaged groups and offer them the opportunities they so deserve. But also encourage every single one of our partners to bring their true self to work so that they can be at the best for our customers and be truly representative of both the communities and the customers that we serve. James.
Thanks, Nikki. So, as I think you're probably all aware, we're very proud of the Waitrose brand and proud that it's the best supermarket in the UK, confirmed again by Which last week. But grocery is a dynamic and competitive market and we can't afford to stand still, so we're really excited about the plan we're launching today for the next 5 years. If I was going to bring your attention to 3 areas in particular, the first would be that Waitrose has historically underplayed in the growth channels in grocery, online and convenience. Online is a story that's been well played this year. We started with 50,000 orders, we got to September and we were 160,000 through the pandemic, and since September we've grown that number again to nearly 200,000 today. We'll invest further in online, a lot of money goes through this plan to support that, and we'll be aiming for the 250,000 delivery mark within the very near future. On convenience, we're not just talking about small shops, we're talking about the convenient mission. Customers are changing the way they shop all the time, and new ways of getting your groceries are arriving all the time. So we have to be open-minded. A good example of that is that we're announcing again today that we're extending our partnership with Deliveroo from 5 to 30 shops. Working with hand in hand with John Lewis, the best general merchandise brand in this country, is an easy thing for Waitrose to do. We should have more John Lewis in our stores. So again, today we're announcing that by this time next year, all 280 Waitrose shops that sell general merchandise will be selling John Lewis general merchandise. And we'll be investing in those stores to make that experience exciting and inspirational for our Waitrose customers. We'll join up that customer journey online and physically as soon as we can. And lastly, this partnership is set up in a different way. So on the issues that matter more and more to our customers on sustainability, ethics and welfare, we already take a lead, but we're set up to take even bigger leads. Those topics matter even more to a new generation of customers, so we can connect with those customers in new and innovative ways. Pippa?
Thanks, James. So I'd like you to imagine John Lewis 5 years from now. So this is a retailer. It's an online retailer, about 60–70%, but it's also got some really amazing inspirational stores. And families, our target segments, go to our stores, they go online, and when they go there, they find really inspiring and convenient ways to shop, and it feels really exciting. What they see is that we're number one in home, nursery, and electrical home technology. Let me bring that to life for you. So we've got a really strong position in home, which we've just begun to relaunch, and that we'll go again in the spring of next year. And we've got new products coming in, new entry price points, and we've just launched our first home magazine for the last few years. We haven't had any. And we will have a home magazine 4 times a year, giving our customers real inspiration, guidance and advice on how to make the most of their home in a really affordable way. Equally, through the COVID situation, we've really accelerated our virtual services in home, home design, home advice. And you can actually, using virtual reality now, beam one of our sofas or chairs into your sitting room or wherever you like in the house and see what it looks like before you go into a store perhaps to try it. So we've got some really innovative activities going around home, and you'll see that continuing over the next few years. Also, we do kitchens and bathrooms, so this is a whole home experience. Nursery is an important part of the home. It's quite scary when families have their first child. We've got a wonderful nursery advisory service. So you have your young family, you come to us either virtually or in store. We give you advice on car seats, buggies, whatever it is, feeding, sleeping. We'll be there for you to help you through that journey. And again, we've dialed that up through COVID, and we've had real success. Bay will talk a bit more about how we've done in scaling that opportunity. So nursery, really important part of the home. And our technology products, be they audio, be they personal for working, school work, homework, we've got some wonderful technology products. We're a very big player in technology, and it's a very important footfall driver in our stores. So you'll be thinking about John Lewis as having fantastic stores, amazing online, and really strong in everything to do with the home. We will also be a significant player in beauty and fashion. We are very strong in beauty now, and we've got a growing position in fashion. These are important because they drive more frequent visits to our online and into our stores. And so this mix of categories together mean that families can pretty much get everything they want under one roof or in one online place. We need to be really affordable, so we've adjusted our entry price points for spring, summer next year. You'll see that. And we've got a new entry price point brand that we'll be sharing with you at that point in time too. So reinforcing that it's great quality, great value, and really good sustainability ethics that Nina talked about. So this is an online business with some really inspirational shops. I think we'll have more touch points across the UK. So working closely with James, we already have a market-leading click and collect service. So if you order with us today, you can pick it up tomorrow. Well, what if you could also potentially try it on if you'd bought some clothing, and if it fitted, you'd take it home, and if it didn't, well, you could leave it for a return. And so I think we will be working much more closely with Waitrose to think about the opportunity for expanding our click and collect, which is fantastic, and also opportunities potentially to bring some of our services into the Waitrose environment. So I think it's an exciting and inspirational kind of opportunity we've got here. Partners are feeling very excited about it, And I'm looking forward to giving you some more detail as we go through questions. But meanwhile, Faye.
Thank you, Pippa. So we believe we have a big opportunity to bring Waitrose and John Lewis closer together for the benefit of our customers. And indeed already 30% of our customers shop both brands. So we want to seize the opportunity in 3 ways. Firstly, sharing assortment. You heard it from James, by the end of next year, John Lewis products in all Waitrose shops. But it starts right now. So this Christmas, 70% of the cook and dine assortment that you can see in Waitrose will be sourced from John Lewis. And it works the other way too. So Waitrose hampers available in 16 John Lewis shops and online. Secondly, we want to make use of Waitrose's convenience to reach more John Lewis customers. So Pippa's just mentioned that around click and collect and boosting that. And then thirdly, we want to power our partners across both brands. 3,000 partners worked from John Lewis shops worked in Waitrose shops over the lockdown, and that saved the partnership £15 million. That's great in itself, but most importantly, those partners gain new skills and new knowledge about the partnership's total customer offering that enables them to delight our customers even more. So we want to build on this to be the best customer service provider in the United Kingdom. First-class service delivered by expert partners is our unique differentiator powered by our model, and is evidenced by the awards we win, for example, which, as James said, but also the UK Customer Service Index that John Lewis won this year. However, we know we don't always get it right. So we want to invest. We want to invest in people, in system, in processes. We want to invest online, in shops, on the phone, from investing in people's training to investing in innovative augmented reality to enhance service. We want to provide our expert partners more opportunities to interact with customers. So Pippa earlier mentioned virtual services. We're talking home design, personal styling, and all things baby. 7 months ago, these services did not exist. And here we are, 7 months on, with 7,000 appointments being booked and already delivered. That is a phenomenal success built on partners' expertise. So we want to grow that. And that's just John Lewis. You should try Waitrose wine tasting. Virtual, it works. The wine gets to your house, honestly. 200 partners from our John Lewis shops will also be supporting their contact center colleagues with answering customer queries over Christmas. And overall, the whole idea is to allow our partners more freedom to provide a consistently exceptional service for our customer, as they did as we fed the nation. Thank you, and back to you, Nina.
Thank you. I'd like to move us on to talk about the new areas of growth that we're going to take the partnership to over the next 5 to 10 years. If we're going to deliver the kind of growth we need to and the returns to partners that they expect, we're going to have to diversify our business into new areas. And if I were to leave you with one sort of governing thought about this, it's to pick areas where we are trusted and where our brands will carry, as well as areas where our ethics, sustainability, and approach to doing business differently will make a difference. We're going to commit £400 million over the next 5 years to expand into areas where we believe trust matters and we can make a big difference. And we expect our business to be 40% non-retail by the time we get to 2030. That is a very big shift. So let me paint a picture about the areas we've selected and what this might feel like for customers. We've picked 4 areas: financial services, housing, outdoor living, and then rent, resale, and recycle. And these are all areas, number 1, that customers have told us they expect and want us to be playing in, and 2, where we believe there are profit pools that we can go after sustainably and make a difference. So financial services is a business we're already in, and I want to pick up on Pippa's little pen portrait of the family that comes in for their nursery appointment and they buy all sorts of equipment for their child for their expected child. Wouldn't it be amazing, and we think it would, for them to both buy the buggy and all of their nursery furniture, but also think about a savings product or a junior ISA, or how they might manage their financial health as a family with multiple generations. We know this is an increasing feature of modern British families. So financial services is a very important first step out. We're already in this space with a healthy business that already offers insurance. We're going to invest in growing those products and also exploring new services. It's very much in our heartland, and we feel will be a big contributor to that 40% of future profits. The second area, which we also mentioned at the half year, was private and social housing. So we're already a landlord. We own a number of properties where we have flats above and around stores. We believe that this is an area where our brand can carry. Indeed, we're being approached by a number of different partners, potential partners, whether they're property developers or pension funds, to work with them. Why? Because our brand as John Lewis and Waitrose can really carry well. Imagine a piece of real estate where we have a store, John Lewis store or a Waitrose store, with flats above or around for rental, furnished by John Lewis with the ability to get deliveries locally from both Waitrose and John Lewis. It's a very strong proposition, and we're seeing a lot of interest in working with us. We've already got 20 properties that we're looking at as possibilities, and 2 in Greater London that we are seeking planning permission for. The area of outdoor living is of interest to our current customers today. We do a lot in the horticulture space, we do a lot in the garden furniture space. We need to do a better job of joining it all up. 34% of our customers tell us that gardening is one of their main pursuits. So this is a real opportunity. And again, they expect us to be playing here. We'll be looking beyond just joining it up to thinking about acquisitions or partnerships. And remember, we've got our own landscaping business at Letford. And then lastly, Pippa mentioned the rental, resale and recycle space. This is an area that customers expect us to play in. They expect us to play in because it's important to them, and they expect us to play in it because they trust us. And they're expecting us to do the hard work to create products and solutions for them. So we're looking really carefully at what we can do in this space, and you'll have seen the successful results we've had with Fat Llama in the furniture rental space. We're not going to be able to do this alone. Accelerating our growth is going to require partnerships, and we're going to combine our unique strengths with others. We're going to seek partners who respect our ethos and values and bring capabilities that we don't have. And today we're announcing a number of new partnerships with financial services players to deliver an innovative home insurance product from next year. We're also making life easier for customers in terms of retail credit, partnering with BNP Paribas, who for the first time from 2021 will be helping us offer this service to our customers across all channels. And then due to high demand, we're going to be expanding our Fat Llama and Deliveroo trials, as James just mentioned. I can also say that today we're working with Deliveroo on a joint community initiative, which is really important to us given the kind of business that we are. A few more words on partnerships. I won't go through everything on this slide, but if I would leave you with 3 points, it would be 1, we will be first and foremost led by customers. We want to find partners who can help us address either a specific need, like ultra-fast delivery, or enable access to new customers. And I would say that many of our trials, things like Deliveroo or Fat Llama, other rental propositions, are actually attracting a much younger cohort of customers. That's very important. The second thing is capabilities and resources that we don't have. We want to do some of these things in a capital light way. And then thirdly, we want to work with partners who respect our ethos and with whom we can really use our position to influence for good. So I'm going to hand over to Patrick.
Thank you very much, Nina, and morning all. So to deliver that retail experience, those services, the inspirational services, and also the partnerships that Nina described, we do need to radically simplify the way in which we work and become much more agile. And by year 2 of the plan, we're targeting £300 million of cost savings. We've already started work on making our head office much simpler and pacier, and we're going to complete that work over the next year. We've also identified significant opportunities to work with our suppliers to drive efficiency improvements. And last but not least, we've got a big opportunity within our own operation, whether it's the estate, the processes that we operate, or the flexibility of our teams right across the partnership. And just reinforcing the point that Bay made, that flexibility is a real opportunity to improve the satisfaction our partners get from their jobs, as well as supporting an improvement in customer service. So let me broaden out to the overall financial shape of the plan. And the first thing to say is that we very much set this plan assuming that we're going to be working through a significant period of uncertainty in the economy. If I then reflect on the internal context, we were very pleased in the first 6 months of this year that our trading performance matched last year's level of profitability. And if you look at our momentum since the half year, it has steadily built from there. So for John Lewis, as we've opened our shops, we've had growing momentum in our shop sales, and we've also seen online sales stay strong. If I turn to Waitrose, they've carried on the strong shop sales we saw in the first half, and online sales have actually stepped up a gear since the end of the half year. And reflecting the uncertainty, we have chosen on our balance sheet to hold a record level of liquidity, and at the half year that was £2.1 billion. And that has been built up over the years. Over 5 years we've reduced our net debt by £1 billion to support it. More than half of that £2.1 billion of liquidity is held in cash. So if I turn now to the shape of profits in the plan, you'll know that our profits dipped down over the last 3 years, and the plan builds profits up to £200 million over the first 2 years, and then £400 million by the 5th year. And if you look at the first 2 years of plan, the biggest driver of that profit improvement is the cost reduction that I described earlier. But there's also significant investment in customer service and in digital growth. If I then move on to years 3 to 5 of the plan, we're investing more in digital growth and our store transformation. And overall, for 5 years, there's £1 billion that will be invested to support that growth. And then turning to what Nina described, we're investing £400 million in our inspirational new services over the life of the plan. And they will grow to 15% of our profits after 5 years, but we anticipate that becoming 40% of our profits by the time you get to 2030. So our overall financial metrics with that profit improvement all move forward substantially. If I start with sales, that moves forward steadily through the plan, and the big dynamic is this change to a much higher proportion of our trade being transacted digitally, from 20% up to 40% of our overall partnership sales. Our debt ratio, having been on a declining trend, we do expect a step backwards this year, given the support we've given to the pandemic, but will then resume its downward trajectory and would be well within the 3 times target by 5 years. And then if I close with return on invested capital, with the profit improvement and also more efficiency in the way we use our capital, that builds back up to 10%. And probably the most important point for our partners is the plan by year 5 will sustainably support a double-figure bonus. If I come back to the funding of the plan, over the 5 years, it is self-funding. It generates £700 million of cash, and that's after the capital investment that we'll be putting in. In the first year, there's a cash outflow of £200 million, and that's supported by the high liquidity that we've built up from our trading performance in the past years. As well as the reduction in debt ratio, there will also be a reduction in our gross financial debt through the years of the plan, building our financial strength, and to make sure we stay flexible and resilient through each year of the plan. We're targeting at each year end to make sure that we've got £1 billion of overall liquidity. And on that note, I'll pass back to Sharon.
Thanks, Patrick. So we're incredibly confident and also incredibly excited by our plan. And what we see at the end of 5 years is a thriving partnership, which is as beloved by our customers as it is by our partners. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to hand over to Chris, who's going to facilitate the questions.
Thanks, everyone. We've got lots of time for Q&A. Just a reminder, for those everyone on Zoom, if you can just raise your hand on the system, and we'll get to you and answer your question. First up, we have Andrew Gwynn, who's from Exane BNP Paribas. Andrew, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, hi guys. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yep.
So my question is, obviously the transition to online, it involves, I suppose, maybe slightly less rewarding jobs for some of the employees. So I'm just wondering how you could manage that. It's obviously something which is, I suppose, in some respects forced on you by consumer demand, but maybe for some employees it's not quite the career they might have had in mind. Thank you.
I'll kick off, if that's okay. So not at all would be my answer. So when we grow our online sales and digital offer, that provides partners with greater opportunities. So imagine our delivery drivers and the installation services they provide in your house. Imagine the virtual services I mentioned earlier. And imagine the kind of the support to customer care. So currently, if you're a partner, say in a shop in London, and we know that with COVID, traffic and footfall is challenged in London, then suddenly your career opportunities are widened because you don't just wait for people to walk through the door. You actually have plenty of roles to do and plenty of advice to give to people who cannot leave their homes and still love the expert advice you're going to give them. So actually just different types of opportunities, just like the areas of growth that we envisage also offer other opportunities. I don't know, Nina, if you wanted to talk about that perhaps.
Yeah, Bay, thank you. I just add that the 4 areas that I've talked about, in addition to accounting for a significant profit proportion of our profit in 2030, I believe will also create new opportunities for employment as well, whether that's in financial services or in the housing developments that we're talking about, or indeed in an extended outdoor living offer. So I think there's upside in employment in those areas.
And one thing I just wanted to add is it's worth just remembering, particularly on the Waitrose side, that we have a very particular model of delivering wonderful food to your home, which is most of it is powered by our partners in store. And it's one of the reasons why we have been able to be, or partners have been able to be so incredibly adaptable and have moved so quickly with the tripling of the business. Most of the picking is done within store. We're not having to wait for a new automated warehouse to be built. So it's worth just thinking, as you think about employment, Andrew, that there are different models of delivering online, and we have as I say, and that varies across the different things that we sell.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Just a reminder, if you do want to ask a question, if you could please put your hand up on Zoom, because we don't actually have any further questions right now. We can allow you to go and have your lunch. We do now have a question from Maureen Hinton from Global Data. Maureen, could you go ahead, please?
Hi, everybody. Could you give us? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, good. Can you give us some information on your international business and what kind of ambitions you have for that, if any?
Thank you. That's a great question, and it addresses a broader point that in order to invest in our retail brands in the way that we've described, and also create space and resources to invest in the step-out areas that we've described, we are going to be deprioritising certain areas, and international expansion is one of them. Not because we don't think there are customers around the world who want our products, but actually we need to focus on delivering for the millions of customers in the UK with our retail brands and making space for these step outs. So thank you for asking the question. Good to get that out there.
Thanks, Maureen. The next question we have is from Patrick O'Brien from Global Data.
Hi there. I was just interested in the progress about the never knowingly undersold slogan and the bit you mentioned today in the release about looking at a new value proposition. Could you share some of your thinking on that?
The work is underway. Thank you for the question. The work is underway, and we'll be talking about that next year, most likely in the first half. So if you could bear with us while we do the work.
But what's your thinking in terms of the value pledge? You talk about a value pledge. What does that? What's your thinking about what that might entail?
Well, overall, we want to be as a better value for money and as good value for money as we can be. So we are introducing new entry price points in the spring of next year across all of our product categories. And we will have a new entry level brand positioning, which we'll share with you in the spring as well, which I think is very exciting. And obviously we have to think about never knowingly undersold in the context of all of that. So we've got lots of work and thinking, and very importantly, talking to our customer base as we design for the future.
I mean, fair value is never going to go out of fashion. And obviously you'd expect us to be reviewing the pledge given the significant shift to digital that we've seen in the last few months. So watch this space, I think we're saying.
The next question's from Jeff Lowry from Redburn.
Yeah, hi there, team. Two questions on the John Lewis side of the business. Can you talk about how you see the opportunities across home, electricals and fashion, and as you sort of reorientate the channel mix and integrate more closely with Waitrose? And secondly, can you talk a little bit more about how you see financial services? Do you imagine a situation where you would become, facilitating lending alongside product sales online in the sort of traditional account model, or is this more a complement rather than a fully integrated financial service offering in your view?
Great questions, thank you. So in terms of home and fashion, and I think, did you say beauty as well? Did I hear that right? Yeah. Sorry, electricals. I think, James already talked about how we're working really closely together to put the John Lewis Cook and Dine and general merchandise into Waitrose, and that will continue. And it's a very sort of natural fit. If you're buying food and you see some things, utensils and cooking equipment, that can be very appropriate. We may do some stuff in the beauty area at some point in the future because there is an opportunity to pick up, beauty products, shampoos and conditioners and things like that in Waitrose, and we're up for exploring everything at the moment. In terms of fashion, I think there's a very interesting opportunity for us in the click and collect area. So just to remind everybody, this is a brilliant service and I really encourage you to use it this Christmas because it will make life really easy. You order it, you get it the next day. And if somebody goes in and then has an opportunity to try on in a very nice changing room within a Waitrose environment, they can then decide whether to keep the product or to return it, and it saves them having to make multiple trips back and forth to the house, so the customer journey is much easier. So I think that's the way we see Waitrose supporting fashion going forward.
Just a question on the financial services, how we see the future there.
So I think financial services, we've got such trust in our brand, and Nina will come in on this as well. And we've seen that we've been in business since 2006 in financial services. We've got a great home insurance product already. We're going to be revamping that in the spring. You'll see that coming out with our new partners, which we're very excited about. But I think there's an opportunity to build out a wider suite of financial services products. We really understand the products that our customers want at different life stages in their lives. And we will be putting together both our own products, which we will work with underwriting providers to help us put into the market, but also with products with partners, so we can cover a whole suite of financial money products that our customers want. We won't be a bank. I just want to be very clear about that. A lot of retailers at the moment are getting out of financial services, and the reason they've done that is they went in with banking, which is very capital intensive, or they've done underwriting and insurance, which is also very capital intensive. We are going to take a very capital light approach working in partnership, delivering really differentiated financial products in line with our trusted brand.
Okay, so should I take from that we won't see, when I'm transacting with John Lewis online, the opportunity to open a credit account to help facilitate those purchases, and then I churn my account as I see fit thereafter? It feels more complementary than sort of fully integrated. Would that be fair?
That's a good way to describe it. You will be able to take out retail credit though. In the spring we will be dialing up our offer there. So if you wanted to buy something over a number of months or years, we're going to have an amazing offer for people to do that, because certainly certain segments of our target customers, they do want to spread out the payments, and we want to make it really easy for them to do that. That will be part of the offer, but getting loans and things will not be part of the offer.
Understood. Thank you.
Can I just add one other point to that? Sorry. Just coming back to what we do across both brands. Waitrose has very high frequency. John Lewis has lower frequency, but will have many more touch points. I think we will want to be promoting our financial services offer, whatever that is, through all of our channels, including Waitrose. So we'll be able to see much more cross-selling, if you will, of those products and services.
Understood. Thank you very much.
We'll go to Nick Harrell from Mintel next. Hi, Nick.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
We can now.
Perfect. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I've got a question on the Waitrose side of things. In terms, you mentioned convenience as being an opportunity moving forward. Do you see that primarily served through the larger store estate and partnerships with Deliveroo, or do you see opportunities within the smaller format stores moving forward in terms of organic growth?
A good question. I mean, I always try and differentiate between the convenience format, so the smaller stores, and the convenience mission. And you're right, the convenience mission is something that almost all customers are on at some point during the week or during their weekly cycle. So we're very focused on the mission itself, not the format particularly. I think if your question is organic growth, buying lots of convenience stores, in my own personal opinion, a lot of the work that we would need to have done to do that was probably sewn up about 10 or 15 years ago. Those prime footfall sites are largely taken, or they're very competitive, and that's probably not an economically sustainable way of trying to get further along in that market. But if opportunities arise, that's one, we'll always take an open mind to it. I think it's a lot more likely looking forwards that we'll work in partnership with people, other people's stores and capital, and try and find different ways of getting all those fantastic products out to customers in convenient ways. And it's just, as you know as well as anyone, it's just a reflection of the different shopping habits and different customer journeys that people are on these days. And we need to be where the customers are rather than where our stores are at the moment necessarily.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. You've sent this via email. So can you elaborate on the 1 billion investment over 5 years compared to your CapEx over the last couple of years of 300 to 330 million, and how that splits between John Lewis and Waitrose?
Shall I start by answering that, and then I might pass on to my colleagues to give you a bit more flavour. So overall in the first 2 years, we'll be investing 1.4 billion. That's a 40% increase in the level of investment that we've had before, and that investment is right across the customer proposition work, but also some of the efficiencies work and our maintenance budget to support our overall estate. So it is a step up of investment to accelerate the cost savings, the customer service, and also the digital growth that we've described. But I suspect my colleagues can give a bit more flavour of what we'll get for that investment.
So we'll be investing both online and stores in John Lewis, roughly half and half of that money that we have, refreshing the stores, making them really inspirational in the way I described. And in terms of online, we'll be making our app absolutely brilliant. We're going to have more recommendations, so if you come in for fashion or a pair of trainers, what kind of foot do you have? How can we get the best trainer for you? How can we get the best look for you given your body shape? So lots more recommendation. So live chat is going to be featuring more videos to show you how to do things with the products that we have. So just lovely investments on both sides, I think, actually. I think it's going to be very exciting. And I've already seen in the last 6 months how, particularly in the online space, the partners have really lifted what we do there to another level, and I think we'll keep going in waves, and I'm very excited about that.
A similar story on the Waitrose side, roughly 50-50 between shops and online. On the online side, there's an early push on capacity. We've already talked about getting above and beyond the 250,000 orders a week mark. And then there is a proposition catch-up and overtake job that we're really keen to get going. We know what great looks like online and on apps, and we have a pipeline that gets us there. So there's investment moving towards that. In the store estate, it's about making sure that the customers that still visit our stores, and that's whatever happens in this plan, that's still likely to be 8 out of 10, at least 7 out of 10 of our customers experience the stores as their primary point of contact. And of course, it gives us the chance to interact with our fantastic partners and deliver that extra special customer service. But the stores themselves have to be in shape, looking exciting and engaging, and really represent the brand in new ways. So we'll take that money and make our stores future-proof, but also bring concepts and propositions that our customers can't get anywhere else. So a good example might be, it's work in progress, but it might be the Unpacked proposition that we launched last year. Really wildly popular with our customers, saw it as an enormous step forward sustainability and packaging-wise. And so now maybe we see that Unpacked offer out in further stores alongside, as Pippa said, more innovative John Lewis fixtures and maybe even John Lewis changing rooms and other things that come with it. So really reshaping the way customers use our stores, but they have to be exciting and motivating places to visit, and they will be.
Thanks, James. And just the second part of that question, Patrick, the split of the 1 billion between the two brands?
Yes, so that's broadly evenly split between the two brands. The one point I would draw out is compared to the past, because we've taken particularly technology, and that area we are now running as one area to support both brands. There's a significant investment in that area, which goes all the way from customer data and supporting that link to our customers and our own insight, all the way through to the technology needed to support our supply chain. And that will be made as one investment supporting two brands.
Great. Thanks for your question, Sridhar. The next question is from Greg Lawless at Shore Capital. And Greg asks, given that you believe that 60 to 70% of John Lewis sales will be online, are you suggesting that any new value message set to replace Never Knowingly Undersold will include online-only competitors like Amazon and AO?
No, we're not suggesting that at all. We're suggesting that we're looking at the whole of the value messaging that we have across John Lewis. And we'll get back to you in the first half of next year, hopefully, with what we're doing with NKU. We will have more good entry price points for spring summer already, and a new brand that captures that. But wait to see how we get on in the first part of next year.
Great. Thank you, Pippa. Thanks for your question, Greg. Next up, we have Thomas Lays from Aberdeen Standard. Go ahead, Thomas.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, Thomas. Hi there.
Okay, hi. Sorry, I wasn't sure whether people could hear me. Just, you talked about the future of John Lewis looking like an online retailer with some inspirational stores. I just wonder where you are today in sort of number of stores versus where you want to get to, and also where in the last few years you've had quite a few impairments on the John Lewis branches, just kind of where you see that going and how those calculations work actually would be quite interesting. Thank you.
That maybe pass to Patrick for the second part. So every good retailer reviews its stores on an annual basis. That's exactly what we're doing. James is doing the same. We're thinking about the real estate as one kind of real estate because we think there's lots of opportunity to do things together. As we work through, we're just looking at a number of things. You know, what is the opportunity for our products in the catchments in the UK? Where are our target customers? Do we serve them best with shops? Do we serve them best with online or a mixture? But nonetheless, we will have more touch points, I think, for John Lewis across the whole of the UK 5 years from now. And they'll be doing different things, but they will be reaching out to customers and making it easier for them to be a customer of John Lewis on a regular basis.
For the
Before you hand over to Patrick, can I just add
Yeah.
a couple of facts to that? So we've obviously been talking about extending to all of our Waitrose stores as click and collect locations, but we've also got hundreds of others with Co-op and with other retailers coming, so that makes life easier for customers already. Patrick, impairments.
Thank you. Impairments. So we did take a substantial impairment at the half-year point, and the thing to reinforce is that impairment anticipated the mix of trade and the way customers are shopping that we have described today.
Many supermarkets have expanded their online capacity this year. In broad terms, how does Waitrose intend to differentiate itself from other players in the online channel?
That's a good question. Thank you, Thomas. I'm glad you snuck that one in on the end. Saved me relaxing at the end. Well, the Waitrose business is differentiated for a couple of big reasons, and some of them really apply online. So we can take our service proposition online. We can be better at the front door, better online, better on the phone calls if we need to be, and the proposition online itself can be better. But primarily, how do we expect to outperform the market? We've still got plenty of capacity across our store estate. We can grow that capacity. Our brand and the way we work is popular with potential partners. I think we have room to expand and room to take that, as we've said, to partner with different groups and take our product into different spaces, and that could apply to online as well. And really importantly, underpinning all of this, our brand promise, quality, sustainability and ethics, still resonates with our customers, and it resonates more, not less, with a younger generation. So the more digital, the more online our customer base becomes, I think our brand moves into that space very comfortably. So we will compete and differentiate on service and the way we deliver, and you'd expect all of those things. But I think primarily the way we can differentiate is by being as good a version of ourselves as we can be.
Thanks, James. Another question via the chat, which is from Akash Banot from Redburn. What proportion of John Lewis sales are made up of own brand exclusive products, and how do you see this evolving over the next 5 years?
Thanks for the question. So across all of the product categories, it's around 30% of the products are own brand. Some are very much own brand. We've got quite a lot of own brand in our home area. We've got no own brand in our beauty area. We've got some own brand in our electricals area. We've got some own brand in fashion. I think it'll probably be about the same going forward, but we'll keep it under review. So it's a great way for us to differentiate, because obviously we control the look, the feel, everything is, and it's unique. So we will be exploring opportunities to make it even more powerful.
Thanks, Pippa. No more questions for now, so thanks all for your time. As I said earlier, if you do have further questions, please feel free to get in touch with the team. But thanks for joining us today, and goodbye.